going to deal with mathematical operations with Python. So I'm pretty sure that we are familiar with plus, minus. So for division, you're going to use the forward slash. For modulus operator, we have the percentage one. Then I think, we still have the multiplication one. And then to perform a square, so maybe square of a number, you have to use two actually asterisks. So we call them asterisks in programming. So let's say we have maybe our number, so we can say number one, or let's just do one directly for printing from our monitor. So we need to say print maybe like 5 plus 5. So this prints the sum of two numbers, so that's 10. Then maybe let's say we want to perform subtraction. So if you subtract that returns a 0. So what happens if you now want to do division? So division, you use the forward slash. Now it returns 1.0. That means it returns a float value. So you are going to actually check on that. So the next thing is we want to return a modulus. So a modulus, the percentage one, returns the remainder after division. So let's say 5 modulus. So let's choose a number that is, let's say 3. So 5 modulus 3 is going to return a value. So, let's say to make it simple, so 5 modulus 2. So that returns a remainder of 1. So you now find that the remainder is 1. So then we have the multiplication. So let me clear the output. So we have multiplication. So for us to multiply, so we just use the asterisks, then you run your program. So you found that now it's 10. Then if you want to do the power of a number, so 5 squared, we now find that it's 25. So we do also have some of the mathematics methods. So to do that, to make sure that we are capable of using it, not capable, but we have to import it. So you call import. You have to import math. So once you've imported math, you can use different methods, like now calculating the power of a number, like 5 power 2. So you just have to say, use the keyword here, power. So then you pass in the number that you want to actually square it. So let's say you want 5 power 2. So you separate the numbers with a comma. So we can now print this to our screen. So print the power of that number. So now we found it's 25. Now, let's say we want to round off. So let's assume that we have a float value. So let's say 989.958. So you're going to assign this one to a number. So let's just call this number. So with the same math module that we've imported, we can perform operations like getting the round of a number. So like rounding of a number. So you just type round and then you place in the number that you want to round off. So when you run that, you find it has been rounded off to 90. So this is actually one of the amazing things about programming using the import math method. So we can actually generate up to random numbers. So we are going to see what actually that does. So we can perform a random operation. So you can say math dot. You can see that once you place a dot, it can now give you so many methods here you can also do. You can also calculate the factorial of a number and so many other methods here. You see, we have power, pi, we have sine. These are, you can also calculate the square root of a number. So let's say square root of a number of a number like maybe 81. Then you're going to print this. So let's say you want to print the square root of 81. You find that our square root is 9. So that's actually 9. So if you want to cast it in your integer, then you're going to pass in an integer value to be returned. Great, so I'm going to give you a simple question here and a simple exercise. So what do you think will be the value of this operation here? So let's call it just operation. So let's have multiplication of maybe this number 8 added to 2 multiplied by 4. So we're going to maybe give it this one calculation number. So calculate. So let's call it calculate, and this is what we really want to get from our output. So from your very basic mathematical knowledge, so it doesn't need any complex math, you can see that the operations is very clear. So what do you think is your output? Pause the video and then you calculate. So I'm now going to press calculate. You'll find that now it's 16. Why? So you can actually like start with this. So you can say 8 added to 2 is 10. 10 multiplied by 2 is 40. Then 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, and 8 added to 8 is 16. So what might have actually caused that? So let's do it again this way. So calculate 2, and then we assign the same thing. But now we add a more parenthesis. So 8 plus 2. Then outside the parenthesis, we are going to multiply it by 4. So what do you think will be the value? I want you to pause the video, then calculate, not a guess, but make sure you guess it right. Then come back. Now the solution here is, what we are doing here is we have added. So if you got 40, then you are right. So we are starting with the bracket here. So remember the BODMAS. I'm not sure if you really cover this in your primary, but every math operation start with brackets, then of, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So let's run this and see. Wow, we have 16. So 8, sorry, we are printing here 16 twice, sorry. Let me clear the output here. So the first thing, what we are doing here is we are telling our compiler just calculate randomly. So it follows the order of operations here. So starting with multiplication, then addition. That's why we are getting 16 for our first output. Then for the second output, we are now creating our own rules, making sure that we start with the one in bracket. So in other cases, addition doesn't come before multiplication. So when you want to prioritize execution, you have to use the brackets. So that's 8 added to 2 is 10. 10 multiplied by 4 is 40. That was really quick about mathematical operations. Next one, we'll get to check on if-else conditions.